How's it going, everybody? I'm the big guy. I am the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. There have been none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, I am the one and only Jake Covey, and welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. We got a huge news-packed week of news, week of wrestling this week for you. We got the news of the week, followed by your SmackDown Raw review. Then, of course, we have our Wrestling Made Simple Money in the Bank predictions for this Saturday's pay-per-view, followed by Money in the Bank 2016 review. And then, of course, we have a reading from the Book of Rules, your WWE Drink of the Week, followed by your Battle Droid of the Week. But let's get into this news. As huge congratulations to Taz, who has gone through very good weight loss, as he's apparently lost 37 pounds. Trust me, as someone who's gone through weight loss and knowing how hard it is, very good to him. I know his son Hook is having a great run in AEW, so for him to be losing weight, who knows? Maybe he'll step back in the ring and have a little father-son moment with his son. That'd be awesome to see. In other news, is Bray Wyatt made his future clear in wrestling, as he has trademarked, or has at least applied for the trademark of Wyatt 6. Apparently, everybody thought he was on his way back to WWE, including me, when he changed his name on Twitter to Wyatt 6 instead of Wyndham. So everybody thought that was an indication, yeah, he's going back to WWE. He will be back in WWE because he changed his name back to Wyatt. But apparently not, as the case is. He is trademarking that name so he could use it on the independent scene. So that kind of kills the return for Bray Wyatt to WWE. And then your final news this week, as we have one of the greatest of all time, Bret the Hitman Hart, announcing what he felt was one of his favorite matches, which apparently is the fight he had with Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 26. He says that was one of his best victories ever. He truly respects it, and it's one of his favorite moments in the ring because it was his return after 10 years to where they said he would never be able to wrestle again. Very good to hear this. I know that it gets panned a lot, this match, but it truly does feel like it was actually a fun match to watch nowadays when you go back and take a look at it. So shout out to Bret the Hitman Hart and Vince McMahon for that match. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to SmackDown. And SmackDown kicked off with Drew McIntyre saying he plans to win Money in the Bank this coming Saturday, and he is looking forward to the match. While Sheamus then came out and said, you have no chance of winning because I'm in the match, and unlike you, I've actually won Money in the Bank and cashed in successfully. But as they were about to basically come out and have a big brawl, Adam Pearce arrives on stage, but not alone, as we hear, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman then said that neither of them will be in Money in the Bank as of right now because WWE officials have looked into it and they feel that neither of them deserve to be in the match. Very funny, look at that and actually be like, oh shit, alright, I guess that they're actually taking him out of the match. But Paul Heyman then announced that if they could beat the Usos later on in the main event, Sheamus and Bray and Drew McIntyre will be in the match. Sorry, I still got Bray Wyatt on the mind for a second. So that was actually a very cool little match to make. I really do actually like this because I liked it when Sheamus and Drew teamed together. And maybe it's giving them a side thing of, hey, these guys might not be future World Heavyweight Champions right now with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins on their runs, and Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar, but they could be amazing undisputed tag team championships. Just saying. After this, Sami Zayn had a great match with Shinsuke Nakamura, continuing the matches they've had. Amazing match between Shinsuke and Sami Zayn. Shinsuke kept teasing the Kinshasa, but never got to hit it, as when he rolled in the ring to hit it on a broken down Sami Zayn jumped up and was able to hit a Helluva Kick out of nowhere to pick up the win. So bravo to Sami Zayn there. After this, we got the New Day and Jinder Mahal and Shanky having a dance-off. This was as stupid can get. It was nothing but a comedy thing. But as the dance-off finishes, Jinder Mahal and Shanky appear to have broken up. And as they're getting ready to dance, just send it to commercial, a foghorn hits. The old foghorn of someone blowing through an actual horn. And Pat McAfee goes, "Is that a ship? That's a ship horn. What is that doing?" And then it just shows on the screen pictures of the old Viking Raiders on the screen. Everybody starts cheering. Then the Viking Raiders come out from nowhere and just start beating the shit out of the New Day and Shanky. I love this. I think this is awesome. The Viking Raiders need to be just the killers, the Stone Cold Killers of the tag team division, and I really like that. We then got Raquel Gonzalez and Lacey Evans versus Sonya Deville in a 2-on-1 handicap match. An okay match. Just a nice little handicap match. Sonya Deville ended up losing after Raquel Gonzalez was able to pick up the pin. But after she pins him, you had Sonya Deville bring out her muscle of Shayna Baszler and Xia Li, and they beat the shit out of Raquel and Lacey Evans. So I guess this is going to be a new heel squad for Sonya Deville, and I really like that. I like Sonya Deville getting her little heel squad together. After this, we got Natalya on the segment of the fucking night, coming out dressed as Ronda Rousey with a stroller. I will admit, I was listening to Wrestling Observer Radio, I think it was Sunday, on my way home from work to get ready for All Out, or AEW Forbidden Door. By the way, I'm not reviewing that. I will get into that a little. I don't know if I'll get into it. I'm not good. Never mind, not going to get into it. And they said this segment was funny because they were waiting for like a Schnitzky moment where she kicks the fake baby. Again, it was alright at best, this segment. And then Ronda Rousey came out and saying she didn't recognize Natalya without her rack out. Very good, Ronda. Very good. And that this is the closest Natalya will ever come to being a main attraction in this company and is dressing up like her. I hated this segment. This segment was so stupid. It was just idiotic. Whoever came up with this segment should be fired, in my opinion. This segment was just idiotic. Just focus on the fact, one, that Natalya was the one who trained her when she came to WWE. Two, these are two of the best submission artists in the game, as Becky Lynch has moved away to the manhandle slam, away from her disarmer. And you have Charlotte Flair focusing more on the natural selection than on the figure eight. So focus on that. Focus on that these two are submission specialists and that they are going to have an amazing match that is going to end in a tap out. Let's face it. If it does end in a tap out and ends with Piper's Pit or something, I'm going to be pissed. We then get Gunther in basically a squash match to retain the Intercontinental Championship against Ricochet. This scares me because I really want Ricochet to get posted up into the main event picture as maybe not a guy who wins it all the time, but still has a great match every now and then. Still has the match where you're like, okay, he's not going to win it, but I still see him as a value contender. Like, what are you going to do with him now? There's no way you can push him into the main event after this. I don't know. It kind of makes me mad for this. It really does. After this, we got Shotzi versus Aaliyah, but apparently it got canceled due to Aaliyah getting an injury, and then she was replaced with Tamina, because no one's meaner than Tamina. Shotzi was still able to pick up the win and qualify for Money in the Bank. So shout out to them. Awesome to see. I really like that we have Shotzi versus Tamina, that we have Shotzi in the Money in the Bank. I really think it'll push her star even higher than it should be. We then got another Max Dupree segment, as he said he will not be debuting his male model this week because they cannot make the room 60, I believe it was 68.3 degrees, but they will give him one last shot to get it right next week, no matter what. Well, we all know it ain't Cesaro. Just saying. As that was the speculation, so I wonder who it actually is going to be, because there's been no other speculation than it is Cesaro. So, I wonder. After this, we got Pat McAfee challenging Happy Corbin to a match at SummerSlam. Apparently, this match has been accepted. Pat McAfee delivering the promo of the year, basically. Great job by Pat McAfee, man. Really enjoyed this. Awesome to see. Pat McAfee versus Baron Corbin. I'm actually looking forward to that SummerSlam. I really am looking forward to that. And following your main event, you had a great tag team match with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus versus the Usos. Really enjoyed this match. Fun match to see. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus end up picking the win after Drew McIntyre hits a Claymore out of nowhere to pick up the win. 1, 2, 3. So Sheamus and Drew McIntyre was kind of a stare down, but like, okay, you got me in there, so I respect you, because without you, I couldn't have gotten in kind of look, you know? So bravo to them. Great match. Really enjoyed it. Both of them are heading into Money in the Bank. This is going to be a fun Money in the Bank ladder match, in my opinion. Let's move on to Raw, ladies and gentlemen. As Raw kicked off with Cena arriving in the building, everybody's big cheers. Everybody's there to greet him, say, hey, thanks, brother. Thanks for everything you've done. And he gives Rey Mysterio a big hug. Everybody's so happy to see him. And then is announced there will be a last chance battle royal to qualify for Money in the Bank. Bunch of people were in this match. You had Riddle, you had AJ Styles, you had The Miz, you had Ricochet. It was clearly a mixed show battle royal. It ends up being Riddle after last eliminating The Miz off the apron. Riddle gets into the Money in the Bank ladder match, so he has one last shot at Roman Reigns. Now I see Riddle winning this. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be. I can't even say how much I love this Money in the Bank. It was then announced by Jimmy Smith that there will not be Kevin Owens versus Ezekiel Elias, as it has been rescheduled. I don't know why. Ezekiel was on the Titantron, and I didn't see Kevin Owens. Maybe Kevin Owens has COVID or something, but I don't know. I didn't see him during the show. Maybe I missed it when I was just looking away or checking my phone or something, but I didn't see him. You did see Ezekiel later on talking to John Cena. John Cena saying it's nice to meet Elias' younger brother. Shit like that, playing into the gimmick. After this, we got a video package with Triple H and Shawn Michaels saying how much they love Cena and how it's good to see him back in WWE ring. We then got an appearance by The Big Show, who's an AEW wrestler, talking about John Cena and how much he loves him, and thanks for WrestleMania 25. And then Daniel Bryan shows up on a video saying how much he loves Cena and thanks for SummerSlam and giving him that push that he needed to get to the main event. That was shocking as fuck to see that. I was so shocked when I saw that. After this, we got Montez Ford versus Jey Uso, the winners. Now, whoever wins this match may choose the stipulation for Money in the Bank. Great match between them. Montez Ford picks up the win. It's clear if Street Profits don't win against the Usos, and they do end up splitting the Street Profits, both of them could be solo stars. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, amazing performers, really enjoy them. So even if they were split, which I hope they don't, they could easily be single stars, which is not something you get from every tag team splitting. The only time I can really remember looking at me like, okay, these guys could both be single stars was Miz and Morrison. We then got Judgment Day promo, where Judgment Day told Dominic the door is open, and Phil Balor said Dominic might not have bad luck, just a bad father. Rey Mysterio then challenged them to a match next week on Raw. Maybe it's gonna finally happen. Dominic joins Judgment Day? I don't know. That would actually be a really cool little thing. I think that would give Dominic one hell of a push, just saying. We then got an announcement from The Miz as Logan Paul will team with him at SummerSlam. AJ Styles came up and smacked the shit out of Miz because Miz eliminated him from the Battle Royal. They then had a little bit of a match, a 2-segment match, and then which AJ Styles won via countout. Miz walked to the back, not angrily, like the kind of heelish, smug look of like, yeah, you beat me, but I beat you in the mind games, which I really did like. After this, we got United States Champion Austin Theory meeting John Cena backstage. He then insulted Cena, saying the fans should be celebrating him instead. He did try to take a selfie with Sia, but Sia just walked away, which was cool to see. I was really like, okay, they really are building this for SummerSlam, and it's going to be a great match. After this, we got another promo segment from Stone Cold, Steve Austin celebrating Cena, Randy Orton talking about how Cena's been one of his greatest enemies in WWE, but it's also one of his greatest friends and how much he loves them. You got Kurt Angle talking about John Cena debuting against him and how much he really respects him. And then Chris Jericho, former AEW World Heavyweight Champion, shows up on a video package talking about John Cena just for a few minutes. Wow, I'm shocked AEW let them do this. They have been so against the Fed. It's just been amazing. So I'm sure there are people losing their minds over this. I know I was. We then got Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair telling how she's going to beat the crap out of Carmella at Money in the Bank, and she's going to be looking forward to SummerSlam. After this, Carmella came out and tried to attack Bianca Belair. Unfortunately, that did not work, and Bianca Belair destroyed Carmella. We then got a match between Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss. Very good match. I really enjoyed this match. I love the chemistry these two have. They'd be a great tag team and great opponents. Liv Morgan was able to pick up the win over Alexa Bliss. I really enjoyed this. Very good. We then got the entire WWE locker room, including ex-CEO Vince McMahon, still have creative on the ring, congratulating Cena. Congratulating Cena on 20-year anniversary. Cena then came out and said, I still got a lot in the tank. This ain't over. We still got a lot to do. This is just the beginning. I'm here to fight. Cena then went into the back, threw his shirt to the crowd, and celebrated happily. Awesome to see John Cena back in WWE, by the way. I really love this. I really do. After that, we got Bobby Lashley versus Alpha Academy in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Bobby Lashley was able to pick up the win by making Chad Gable tap out. Very nice little match. Austin Theory then tried to attack Bobby Lashley, but Bobby Lashley fought off, stood tall to end the segment. We then cut to a backstage segment. John Cena's in the back, talking to a production assistant, and then out of nowhere, all you hear is Seth Rollins coming in, and he is laughing, but he is also laughing John Cena's theme. Amazing work by Seth Rollins there. This is why Seth Rollins is one of my favorite of all time. Just because the guy can turn anything into an amazing segment. I mean, he turned laughing is something we do every day, into something that we look forward to hearing from Seth Rollins. He literally made John Cena's music laughter. That's awesome. He was talking about Money in the Bank and how history's going to repeat itself. Almost then comes up, staring down Seth Rollins, saying how he's going to win Money in the Bank. All this shit going down. We cut back to the ring, and Jimmy Smith then said Seth Rollins was responsible for taking out Cody Rhodes, but we have a very special video message. As Cody Rhodes came on is saying how he is sad he won't be in Money in the Bank, but he is looking forward to watching it. They said he has 9 months to recovery, but he's looking forward to proving them wrong. And then finally, in your main event, we got a 6-pack elimination challenge for the last chance Money in the Bank spots. So, it was between Becky Lynch, Tamina, Doudrop, Shayna Baszler, Xia Li, and Nikki Ash. Very good match. Everyone who was eliminated early on, Xia Li and Nikki Ash, then Shayna Baszler, then Tamina, then Shayna Baszler. Then it became down to Doudrop and Becky Lynch. There was no question Becky Lynch was going to win this. Becky Lynch finally picks up the win and is heading to Money in the Bank as your last spot in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. So, bravo to her. Becky Lynch is in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And that was Raw this week. Raw and SmackDown, very good, except for that except for a couple segments. Very good. Really enjoyed it. Very good go-home show for Money in the Bank. Got me really excited for it. I'm really ready to go for Money in the Bank. So let's go my Money in the Bank predictions. First, let's look at it. It's coming from Las Vegas, Nevada, at the MGM Grand Arena. You have Bianca Belair versus Carmella for the Raw Women's Championship. I don't see Carmella winning this at all. Bianca Belair retains. You got Seth friggin' Rollins versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus Omos versus Sami Zayn versus Riddle versus To Be Decided. One, I think the To Be Decided is going to be Ricochet. I don't think he's going to win, but I think it will be a very good little addition for him. This is very hard to predict. I don't think it's going to be Omos, and I don't think it's going to be Sheamus. Seth friggin' Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, or Riddle. Here's why each one of them can win it. Seth Rollins could win it and cash in at SummerSlam, then go on to a feud with Cody Rhodes for WrestleMania 39 and main event night 1. That's what I could see. 2. Drew McIntyre wins it and uses his cash in for the main event of Clash at the Castle against Roman Reigns. 3. Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn could win it and tease the cash in against Roman Reigns because he is an honorary Uce. And then when he finally cashes in, he says, "Ha ha, I played you all. I was never an honorary Uce. I just used that to get close so that way they'd let me in and give me a reason to compete in Money in the Bank and win it. And now that I cashed in, I am your Universal Champion." And then I could lead to a whole feud with Roman Reigns saying, "We gave you the title of Uce. That's not something that's given around lightly. So now you're going to have to pay." And then Riddle having the match he should have for Randy Orton's revenge. There's so many ways this could go. I'm going with Seth Rollins just because I think it's too good a chance to pass up for WrestleMania. That's me. At least that's what I hope they would do. We then got Ronda Rousey versus Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship. It's going to be Ronda Rousey. It's going to be a hard-fought match. They're going to lock in the sharpshooter. They're going to lock in the armbar, the ankle lock. Everything's going to get locked in. It's finally going to end with an armbar. I would say maybe the third time she attempts it, she's going to finally lock it in. 1, 2, 3. Ronda Rousey picks up the win over Natalya. We then get the Usos versus the Street Profits in a tag team match for the Undisputed Championships. I think it's going to be a ladder match. I think that'll be an awesome way to do it for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. I think that should stay a ladder match because that's kind of the gimmick show they're going with, but that's just me. We also have Bobby, by the way, I think the Usos retain. We then get Theory versus Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. Theory's going to retain because they're really pitching John Cena versus Theory for SummerSlam. And to add the United States Championship, the first championship Cena won, the one he's really loved his whole career. I see Theory retaining and then going on to have a match with John Cena at SummerSlam. And then finally, Lacey Evans versus Alexa Bliss versus Liv Morgan versus Raquel Rodriguez versus Asuka versus Shotzi versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Money in the Bank. Tough one. This is a tough one. I'm going with Liv Morgan. I could see Little Miss Bliss or Becky Lynch winning it. I don't see anyone else, even though I could make the argument for everyone else in this match, same as I could do for the men's Money in the Bank. Well, I want to go Liv Morgan in my heart. Becky Lynch is the one going off of my head. Then she cashes in later on Ronda Rousey, and they have the match at WrestleMania. I don't know. I think Liv Morgan. I'm going Liv Morgan. And that is my Money in the Bank 2022 predictions. Very fun. I really enjoyed. I'm really looking forward to this pay-per-view. This is going to be a great pay-per-view. Let's move on to 2016 Money in the Bank. Taking place from Paradise, Las Vegas, Nevada. The T-Mobile Arena, where the Golden Knights play. With an attendance of 14,150. By the way, I heard this on Wrestling Observer Radio. If you guys are somehow listening, I doubt you are, but If Wrestling Observer Radio was listening, they asked how many seats are still available for the show. Last time I looked, they looked at WrestleTix and they didn't get an answer. WrestleTix is an amazing Twitter page. If you're looking to know how many seats are still left for a show, you could usually go on them. So I actually went in and counted. My math may be a little bit wrong, but last time I checked, there was only 85 seats left in the whole arena. So 85 seats away from a sellout with a week left to go. I can easily see them selling out the MGM Grand, just saying. Let's look at this show, because this show was awesome to see for the main event reason. I'll get into the main event a little later on. But first off, you got the Golden Truth versus Breezango in a tag team match. The Golden Truth of R-Truth and Goldust versus Fandango and Tyler Breeze. Very nice little match. Golden Truth picks up the win. I really did like that tag team. That tag team was fun to see. I got into wrestling literally right as they were breaking up, but still a fun little thing to see. You got the Lucha Dragons of Kalisto and Sin Cara versus the Dudley Boys in the tag team match. We're just seeing Dudley Boys on a pre-show. But Lucha Dragons ended up picking up the win over the Dudley Boys. And then the Dudley Boys, I think a few months after this, would move on from the company. So in an 8-minute, 48-second match, Lucha Dragons pick up the win. We then cut to the main card. So we have 3 tag team matches in a row, which is funny to see. Of the New Day defending their championships against Enzo and Cass, Gallows and Anderson, and the Vaudevillains, Aiden English and Simon Gotch. Now, I haven't talked about much on the show. I just want to say how much I love Enzo and Cass as a team. They're the reasons I actually got into professional wrestling. I really was a fan. I loved them. They made me smile. They made me laugh. And I miss that they aren't together anymore. I really wish they still were. The New Day were able to pick up the win to continue their monumentous championship run. It was unbelievable. I think this was their record-breaking run. So, the New Day pick up the win. Very good match. An 11-minute, 43-second match. We then got Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler. One of Baron Corbin's really debut matches. It was funny looking at this because you had Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn, Bobby Roode, all these guys who came onto the main event series first. It just goes to show what respect WWE really does have for Dolph Ziggler, and how much they view him as a great worker and just a great guy to help mold talent. As he was the first one, they were like, okay, you guys are going to work with Dolph Ziggler, because this guy is not just safe, but he'll make you look good. So shout out to Dolph Ziggler for that, as he works with Baron Corbin here to have a great match. Baron Corbin picks up the win in an amazing 12-minute match. It's actually very fun to go back and watch this match. 12 minutes, 25 seconds. Go back and watch it. It's actually very fun. We then got Charlotte Flair and Dana Brooke versus Becky Lynch and Natalya. I know, it's a weird one to think, right? Very weird one to think, because Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair were friends before she turned on Becky Lynch with Ric Flair before WrestleMania 32. And they would become friends again later on, going through the year. They would become friends after WrestleMania 33 again. And then they would turn on each other after WrestleMania 33, or WrestleMania 34, after the build to SummerSlam, where Becky Lynch would then become the man. So this match was kind of starting to form the man, which is funny to look at. Dana Brooke and Charlotte Flair would pick up the win in a nice little 7-minute match. We then kind of got a little throwaway match here. Funny to say that, but you got Apollo Crews versus Sheamus in an 8-minute match. Apollo Crews would pick up the win. This would again kind of be Apollo Crews' main roster kind of thing. He'd be coming on after WrestleMania 32 from NXT. Funny to see him back in NXT nowadays, but he would come out and really have his first real big feud with Sheamus, which is funny to see, as Sheamus was coming off a run as WWE champion after losing his championship back to Roman Reigns. So, funny to see that. Really is very funny to see. We would then get the Money in the Bank ladder matches. Dean Ambrose would go against Alberto Del Rio, Cesaro, Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens. Oh, I also forgot. You had the Dream match. The great dream match between John Cena and AJ Styles. This would not be their WWE Championship match, which would take place later on in the year at the Royal Rumble. You would instead have this match here. Great match. AJ Styles and John Cena would tear the house down in a 24-minute match. If you're looking for a great match to come see, go watch this match. It's actually, I was just watching it, getting ready for this review. And it's a fun one to look back and be like, okay, so this is what they did before Royal Rumble. Then you would get your Money in the Bank ladder match as Dean Ambrose would go against Alberto Del Rio, Cesaro, Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. What a stacked field, funny enough. Very good Money in the Bank ladder match. It's a 21-minute, 38-second match. As it's funny to remember the build to this match as you had all the participants sitting on a ladder and you had Chris Jericho saying, and when I won Money in the Bank, it was a more prestigious thing. And Kevin Owens goes, which one did you win? And he goes, the first one. And he goes, no, Edge won that one. The second, the third. It doesn't matter if I've won because I'm Chris Jericho. You stupid idiot. And it's funny to hear him call Kevin Owens a stupid idiot because this would be before Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho would really become friends. And they would build to the big feud between them for the United States Championship at WrestleMania 33. But anyway, Dean Ambrose would win this match in a very fun... if you're looking for a regular, just... this is what Money in the Bank is, a Money in the Bank ladder match is, go watch this match. This is what that is. It's the best way to describe it. It is a Money in the Bank ladder match. We then got Rusev versus Titus O'Neil with the WWE United States Championship on the line. Rusev was the champion at the time. He would defend it successfully against Titus O'Neil. And he would go on to continue to defend it until, I believe it was Hell in a Cell, where he would lose it to Roman Reigns. And this would lead to Roman Reigns' only WWE United States Championship run. Speaking of Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, you would have your main events. Roman Reigns defending his WWE Championship against Seth Rollins. Former Shield brothers, Seth Rollins re-debuted at Extreme Rules in one of the really awesome re-debuts after Roman Reigns had a hard-fought match to retain his WWE Championship. I can't remember against who. Hang on. Extreme Rules. Who did he defend against? He defended against AJ Styles. I forgot that. They actually tore the house down that night. Seth Rollins would come in, hit the pedigree on Roman Reigns, say, I'm back, hold up the title that he never lost, that he relinquished because of injury, and then come out and would challenge Roman Reigns to a match. Roman Reigns would lose this match, and again, very good main event, a 26-minute main event. The reason Roman Reigns lost, apparently this was supposed to be a huge money-making feud that was supposed to go on for months and months and months and months, but they couldn't do it because Roman Reigns failed a drug test. He tested positive for marijuana, I believe it was. So Roman Reigns would have to go off and serve a 30-day suspension. That is why he dropped the title to Seth Rollins. But after winning the match, Seth Rollins, by the way, Seth Rollins is still undefeated against Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins would hold up the title, and then the Lunatic Fringe's music would come out. Dean Ambrose comes in, cashes in on Seth Rollins, wins the title in 9 seconds. This would be the night that every Shield member would hold the grandest prize in wrestling in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. You would have Roman Reigns come in, Seth Rollins beat Roman Reigns for the title, then Dean Ambrose beats Seth Rollins for the title. 1, 2, 3, every member of the Shield is champion that night. Very cool to see. That's why I really do like reviewing the show. It's fun to look at everything that's kind of built towards what we have now. Of the Shield really going against each other, and then it would lead to the brand split of Dean Ambrose taking the title over to SmackDown. You would have Seth Rollins feud with Finn Balor over the Universal Championship. Excuse me. Then Kevin Owens would win it. After Finn Balor had to relinquish it, then you would get great feuds with Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, and Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. It would lead to the Goldberg-Brock Lesnar match at WrestleMania 33. Some say the best match Goldberg has had since his return to WWE. And it was just awesome to see that. It was awesome to see these three guys who fought for everything finally get what they deserve in every single night they held that title. So, very fun to see that. And that is your Money in the Bank 2016 review. If I had to give it a grade for the show, I would give it a B+. And it's just because of the Dudley Boys being on the pre-show, and two, just all the kind of little throwaway matches. Let's move on to your WWE Drink of the Week. As this is the Golden Dream, which is what everybody calls the briefcase. It's a golden opportunity, the Golden Dream. Here we are, your Golden Dream, ladies and gentlemen. This drink is made with Galano, 2/3 of an ounce of Galano, 2/3 of an ounce of triple sec, 2/3 of an ounce of orange juice, and 1/3 of an ounce of fresh cream. You garnish with an orange wedge. So you add all your booze into a mixing glass, shake well, make sure you shake it with ice, so that way it kind of waters it down a little with the cream and the orange juice. Still not enough to really kind of water it down to really make it not as strong. You make sure you shake it well, then pour into a martini glass and garnish with an orange wedge. Please make sure to drink responsibly. Do not drink if you are under 21, and do not drink and drive. And that is the Golden Dream drink. And now, a reading from the Book of Rules. Money in the Bank. A briefcase containing a guaranteed WWE Championship match. Suspended above the ring. The superstar that unhooks the briefcase is the winner. The contract for the championship match is good for 365 days before it expires. You can cash in the night and win it. The holder of Money in the Bank briefcase can cash in at any time and any place. The bell must ring for a cash-in to be valid. A reading from the Book of Rules. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Battle Droid of the Week. This was easy for me to choose. I've never had such an easier decision in my life for Battle Droid of the Week. The second I saw it, I wrote it down on my phone. I'm like, this is Battle Droid of the Week. And that is Ronda Rousey. Good God, what the fuck? She has been such a disappointment since coming back to WWE. I don't think she was good in the first run. I'm just saying that now. I remember I was walking through a comic store with my friend. We saw a Ronda Rousey WWE action figure, and I looked at him and I said, she's going to destroy WWE if she gets a chance. And sure enough, what's the one thing she's quoted as saying? WWE is fake shit, and I'm just here for money. And that was in her heel run, but I'm still not sure that wasn't real. I really don't like Ronda Rousey. I think it is stupid that she's, coming out and saying, oh, I didn't recognize you with your rack out. That's your line? She still doesn't know how to talk. She doesn't know how to deliver a promo at all. Pair her up with Paul Heyman, she'd be a million times better. Pair her up with anyone who could conjure up a sentence. Pair her up with me! I will walk out there and deliver a better promo than Ronda Rousey. Guaranteed. Yes, she can fight. She's an amazing fighter. Amazing UFC. Amazing judo expert. One of the best ever. I got no problem saying that. She's a great performer in the ring sometimes. Because, hell, you go back to WrestleMania 38, I still think that was the worst match of the night. She is so raw. There could be great molding. There is greatness there for wrestling. But she is so focused for UFC. She is so ready for UFC every way that she just doesn't allow herself to be changed to a wrestler. So Ronda Rousey, congratulations. You are the Battle Droid of the Week. Here's your award.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. I have been the Big Guy. This has been Wrestling Made Simple. Enjoy Money in the Bank. It has been a great build to this. I'm looking forward to it so much. And next week you'll have my review on it, plus a little bit more as we get ready for SummerSlam. Have a great week. I've been the Big Guy.